Excited to have our next guest on, man. He's done a lot in his life. He's been on a spiritual journey, and he's here to tell us about his company, about the things he's learned in life. Please welcome Ron Morrett. How are you, sir?
Thanks, Sam. I appreciate you having me on your show today. Always a pleasure seeing you and coming with you live here today. Fantastic. I love it.
Ron, where you podcasting from right now?
Right now, I'm in Pennsylvania. I just flew back in from Florida yesterday, as a matter of fact. And I summer in Pennsylvania. I winter in Hollywood Beach in Florida. And I'm back in the silver-coated skies of Pennsylvania right now. I'm wondering what it's like where you are.
I love Pennsylvania. Anyway. I'm from upstate New York, and it's basically the same country. I love that area. It's nice. If you ever want to buy a house, you can still afford it in some parts of Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh's really nice, dude. Philadelphia is nice. It's getting a little weird, but Philadelphia is nice. I like Pennsylvania. I love Florida too, dude. Florida is like, it's like, I think all the Florida man and all the crazy stuff with the meth gators and all that stuff is just meant to scare people from from going to Florida. It's kind of like Los Angeles. You know, they demonize the valley, and then you move to the valley, you're like, actually, this is pretty good.
It's wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful. It's quiet. Yeah. You chill. You don't have to deal with all the craziness. So, Ron, very excited that you're here. For those who may not be familiar with you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Sure, absolutely. So, Ron Morrett, I'm the CEO of a company called VibeMedX, VibeMedX.com. And I have become, oddly enough, the North America's foremost authority on Shilajit. And I am one of the biggest importers of Shilajit in the country. And that's my business. And it's really become a buzzword in holistic health healing lately. But I've been on this journey for about 10 years now with Shilajit. And it's really been a game changer for me and many of my clients across the world. But that's one of the things we're going to talk about today. But VibeMedX.com is where you want to go and find me.
I love Shilajit. I love that stuff. I used to have a bunch of it. I've been out of it for a little while, but that stuff's great.
I noticed in the email that you have a pronunciation guide that says Shilajit. So
Shilajit, yeah, how do we saying it? I mean,
Shilajit,
I'm known for saying stupid stuff, so the listeners don't care.
Well, no, but he said Shilajit too. I was expecting him to say Shilajit because that was in the email. So I'm curious, how do you pronounce it, sir?
I pronounce it Shilajit. It just rolls off my tongue like that. I hear others pronounce it Shilajit.
So that's not you in the
I hear
email.
A lot of pronunciation.
That wasn't your pronunciation.
That's correct. Yeah, no, I didn't send that.
That's Booker the Mark's pronunciation.
Correct.
All right, so what is this? Shilajit?
Yeah, I think that may have been Mark.
Yeah.
Shilajit. All right, so
go for it. We just want to tell our friend who speaks English in a second language what this is.
All right, so Shilajit is a mineral pitch resin. Okay, it's super tar-like. So I can show you guys here. This is what it comes in. It comes in a brick. Let me get on the camera here.
Yeah.
This is how I get it. It's a 500-gram brick, and it's really like a tarry, sticky substance.
Yep.
It comes from super high elevation in the Himalayan mountains, through Pakistan, Nepal, India, up into the mountain regions of Russia. Found in super high elevation. And this stuff has been inside of the earth for millions and millions of years, kind of marinating in there. And it's a key piece of Ayurvedic medicine that they've been using in those parts of the world for a millennia. Like they've been using this since the beginning of time. It's literally written in Sanskrit text known as the vitamins of the gods. I mean, they talk about the medicine Buddha using this mineral resin medicine. And it's been around being used forever, much like a lot of Eastern medicine that we are not used to here in North America and in the Western society. But it's a game changer for so many. There's wonderful benefits, and I can get into all that as we go along here as well.
So what is your journey into discovering this?
Well, that's a great question. So my journey is interesting, and it touches a lot of highs and lows and unique kind of life experiences. And maybe I'll go back a little bit, let's say 20 years ago when my life starts to kind of percolate, we'll call it. So I'm a owner of a tech company at that point, and I come from a modest background, middle class, typical, average, I would say American growing up. I started to find some success, and I have 50 employees in my company. I start, making real wealth and money. Turns into me becoming a multimillionaire and really flowing in abundance. At the same time, I'm a little crazy, at that time, and I don't really have the wherewithal to comprehend what I'm bringing in, and I'm partying, and I really start to kind of spin out of control and party like a rock star. I mean, I would say I was the Wolf of Wall Street, probably Wolf of Main Street before that came out, living a life of debauchery, living a life of drugs and alcohol. And I think a lot of it, as I grew up, I look back and I'd look into the culture that I looked up to, what I thought success was, and it was filled with gangster shit. And I thought I was a gangster. I wanted to be a gangster. And then you give someone like that money and you give them tons of cocaine and alcohol, and shit just went wild for me. So
yeah,
I'm living that type of life. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I live that type of life as well. It's well documented. I talk about my crazy days. And I look back on them in a weird way. I'm very thankful for that person because my career wasn't going well. Things weren't working out. I was just drifting into the abyss, and it was a hard thing to survive. And as much as I wonder what I could have been and would have been, should have been, if I hadn't done all that craziness for 15 years or so, like that guy's got me through that dark period, and I'm not saying do drugs, and I'm not saying that was my journey. And I've always said this, every life lesson I've ever learned in my life was learned the hard way. I was never able to watch someone else flamethrower their life and go, I'm not going to do that. The closest I have to that is my father. My father was a wild man, came from a very poor background, and went through a lot of shit, and it traumatized him, and he didn't learn how to play well with others. And I saw myself becoming that, and life wasn't going good, career wasn't going good, so I started doing drugs because I'm doing drugs. Life isn't going well. It sounds like you're a really functional addict at that point. I don't know if you consider yourself an addict, but at that time I was definitely an addict. I was still getting stuff done, still pushing culture, still coming up with ideas that people would take, and then they go and they have huge success with it. And I couldn't because I just had really weird energy at that point, and nobody wanted to get close to me. And people don't want to get close to me, but for other reasons. But, because I just talk a lot of truth, and that scares people when they want to play the corporate game. And, that's a whole different discussion. But that guy, I needed that person, because there's a lot of pain going on right now, and I don't know if I would have survived that without that guy. So I look back on saying, like, that dude taught me a lot of lessons that I'm very thankful for today, and I'm able to go to other people who are suffering through drugs and alcohol and other addictions and help them get through that based on what I did. So that guy's important.
Yeah. Oh, man. So well said. And thank you for that, because, it's such a unique journey to live that way. And then to be able to have a conversation like this now, when I was going through that, I was so out of control, and it was fueled by cocaine and millions of dollars. And then the party never ended when I was around. And for years afterwards, I hated that guy. It depressed me, and it was so hard because I was so angry at that guy, and I was so angry at myself. And once again, I'm not promoting that type of lifestyle either. It was useful for me at that time. And now I look at it in such a genuine, thankful way that I learned so much, and I got into the entertainment world. I got into athletes, entertainers, managing who's who of the world. And so it was super interesting and powerful and unique. And I'm just thankful for that journey now, because now it allows me to speak to people like you said. It allows me to talk with a little bit of authority as well, having lived that life, having been in that world, having made those super drastic mistakes as well, and to be able to talk about it honestly, openly, help others now try to avoid the mistakes that I made as well. So people like you and I had to go down a bumpy road to get here, and I'm glad we can talk about it and be useful now in a positive way.
You use a very special word called abundance, and you used that earlier. And it's very interesting because when I look over the notes, I see you were involved with NFL stuff and that whole lifestyle, NFL Super Bowl events. I can't even imagine what that must be like, and you know, when you see people get super rich and then they lose all of it, and you go, how does that happen? And I go, well, because they're living in scarcity. And you go, well, they got all this wealth. That's abundance. Nope, that's not what abundance is to me. Abundance is I'm blessed to get all this stuff. I got to give it away to other people. And when you're living in that kind of celebrity lifestyle, we see it all the time in Hollywood. I mean, these people come in bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and the next thing you know, they have dark energy, dark eyes, they look like they've been through it, because that is what that entails. It is a meat grinder. And I've seen it change a lot of people. You know, I've been blessed to see people who came into Hollywood as open micers are now some of the biggest comics in the world. And some of them don't seem very happy to me, and they have everything they ever wanted. And I'm not saying they don't give to other people. I think a lot of them are very generous, but there's a certain energy that comes with fame that can eat you up and spit you out. And I really do believe that there is this thing in life, which, we study monks. Everyone studies monks, and they live on top of a mountain and they're praying all the time, and they're living this very high vibrational life. And you compare that to maybe the excess of fame and fortune, and how they're the opposite end of the spectrum. And I really do believe this. And I suffer from this as well. So I'm not lecturing anybody as, look how good I am, because I still have demons. I still have, addictions. But I would 100% believe that the key to life is going through it to get to it. And this kind of thing of pushing away and holding off from indulgence. And it involves a certain type of mental mindset. It's like when you study someone like Gordon Ryan, who's this like jujitsu master at like 24 years old. Like, what did he have to go through to get there? Was he out at all the high school events all the time, hanging out with the girls all at the mall, or was he grinding in the gym constantly? And he gets into this kind of thing on social media as well, which is like this like desperation to go viral, and what it takes to go viral is like it's just not, I think, a spiritual path to go down. And it's like to put out the craziest energy possible, so everybody shares it as, look how hot and look what she's doing. She's a wild one, or look at this idiot. Look how stupid he is, and look at all the dumb things he's doing. That's a really bad energy, and I think it's supposed to go the exact opposite. There's a saying that the more options you have in life, the more miserable you are.
You ever have a hard time at In-N-Out?
What do you mean?
No options. Just with double or In-N-Out.
Just go through it, yeah.
Just go through simple.
But it's like when you look at the traditional path of which get married, have kids, live long, raise your kids, have them go out to the world, and what that involves versus modern day, which is nobody gets married, nobody has kids, everybody's on medication, everybody's dealing with mental illness, and they don't even understand it because they keep going down this path when I think spiritually they're supposed to be in a different place. So when I look at you at the NFL, I couldn't imagine the opportunities that were just everywhere, all indulgence.
Complete indulgence. And that really was my entry into that world, right? That was you want to talk about manifesting abundance and things of that nature. I'm just a normal, average Joe now, getting some money, getting some wealth, and it spun into now me co-owning the after party for the Super Bowl. I mean, I now own the biggest after party for the biggest event in the history of the world. And it's the who's who of the world's there. My first year was 2003 in Houston, and it was the Janet Jackson nipple, thing with Justin Timberlake, I think. That was my first Super Bowl that I owned. And it was fucking crazy as shit. I mean, I'm thrust into this world, and then shit just jumped off. And yet, like, I go back to it, and I'm fueled by millions of dollars in cocaine. You know what I mean? I'm flying around in private jets. I'm doing things like this. Just a wild scenario. And then you want to talk about the meat grinder of the system of the entertainment world in Hollywood. Oh my God. You see the damn devil in these people come out, and so for me to see that, and the things I saw, and the temptations, and all of it together was just a recipe for me to spin out of control but having a great time. I was still a good person. I did many good things, but I'm enjoying it to the fullest. I'm spending millions as quick as I'm making them at that time, and enjoying every minute of it. And it's part of my journey, and then so I keep going, doing that for many, many years of that type of partying. And then just like in a lot of cases, it comes crashing down. Like, I crash and burn big time because I think I'm a gangster. I have total power as well. Like when you have that much money and that much wealth, I'm controlling a lot of politics in my hometown. I got a lot of politicians in my pocket, you know what I mean? Taking care of them, doing their dirty work for them. And then I start giving kickbacks to some individuals for some contracts that I have. And it spins into me getting indicted and landing in federal prison losing everything.
Wow.
Yeah, crash and burn, baby.
Shit.
Wow. Because you got to play that game, right?
Yeah. So I'm playing this game and I'm doing everything legally. But now when you have that much money, weird shit happens. And people come out of the woodwork, including the politicians who are in control. They want their piece. And it's fairly normal. But they started to almost extort me for money, and I'm like, here, just take it. All right, let me write you a check. And I'm figuring I'm playing the game. And then they start making mistakes on their end. And the next thing you know, I'm jammed up. The FBI is knocking on my door and everything comes crashing down for me. And I'm thankful that it did, honestly, as I look back, because I could only sustain that type of lifestyle. I don't know how much longer I could have went. I mean, I had a drug dealer on my payroll that was getting 6 figures just in cocaine a year. So I'm literally, really living it up. And I don't know how much longer I could have made it. So looking back,
did you try
I'm
to
thankful.
write them off on your taxes? We were talking about the Rolling Stones the other day, trying to write off cocaine on their taxes.
Would they name it?
That's the whole thing. Did you try to talk to your accountant? Like, can we finagle 6 figures of cocaine into a tax write-off?
Yeah.
I did. So I had this mentor. It's so great because you look at the movie The Wolf of Wall Street when they're talking to his dad about, writing off hookers and cocaine. So I remember talking to my mentor, like, how do you write off the hookers and the cocaine? And he didn't think it was too funny. But I was serious, you know what I mean? Because, we had to do it. But we found ways, and we did it all legally, of course, and paid taxes on it. I remember it's so funny. When the FBI looked at me and went through everything, and they had me, really, they were like, wow, you were so good that you paid taxes on everything. Like, we can't get you for, they're like, usually we get people for tax evasion, but you were very good. And they applauded me. They were thankful that, they could let me alone and I paid all my taxes. So
yeah,
it was good. It worked out.
And you put a lot of faith into your accountant when you're working with them because they're telling you, write this off. Right. You're like, oh, I get to write that off, which means less tax money. And you're like, you're hoping they get it right when you go to your accountant because they may just be like, playing with numbers too, but it gets into this whole thing about the lifestyle of even like when you start talking about sex workers and stuff and how they're just all over that stuff because multiple stories I've heard about gorgeous young women who are just able to have access to the highest levels of power and how much power that is. It's the famous story with Larry Flint and Vicki Morris, I believe is her last name. And like, she was found by this Bloomington, the guy who created the Bloomington stores.
Bloomingdale's?
Bloomingdale's. Bloomingdale. I think his name is Bloomingdale. And man, she went from like 18-year-old to hanging out with the House of Saud. And like our view of sex and all that stuff is so warped because it really is energy. And it is. Right. And it's just like you look at all these famous people being taken down by sex scandals.
Yeah. It's so powerful and it's so energetic, and both ways. I mean, the industry feeding off young women, and stealing their energy and then vice versa as well. It's such a unique place of power and money and fame. It's such a mind fuck. And it's so powerful. And, as I witnessed that and lived through it, and just saw it all for the ugliness that it was really, I saw the craziest shit in that period of my life. I had people who literally lived like fake lives. They stole identities from other people and they lived this whole lie. I had a business partner once who literally stole the identity of another person and pretended that he was in the NFL, and everyone bought it. Like everyone, it worked. I think I was the only one that figured him out. You know what I mean? After years of just like looking at things differently, I figured this guy out. But you find the wildest people, and even all the entertainers and the stars that I met. I mean, it was just so odd, the oddness surrounded by all of them. And it was because of the power and the fame and the money. And they just they didn't know who they were, you know? So it was really an interesting experience. I mean, I remember once I was at a Hugh Hefner's birthday party singing happy birthday to Hugh Hefner.
Wow.
Nice. Oh, dude, you want to talk about fun stuff. I mean, that was a moment. I was like, wow, this is some good shit. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm sitting here.
Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Pennsylvania, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and between Pittsburgh and Philly. Grew up a Steelers fan. Had Steelers season tickets for a long time, and but you know, just a kind of a regular guy. Not always regular. I was a little different growing up, but you know, I didn't grow up in Hollywood or in the system or from a lot of money. And for me, spinning all this into what I did was pretty unique. But also, you know, also. Like I keep going back to it, it was out of control as well, and the arrogance and the ego that I had built up because of that, and it's all on me. Like I don't glamorize everything I've done, and I certainly realize all of my faults and issues that I had, probably deep childhood trauma, I'm sure, that was lingering, that all came out once I got a lot of money thrown at me, you know. So it's a wild ride, this Earth School, this realm we're in.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, stand-up comedy is my thing, and I just meet these people, and they're just almost psychopathic level of focus and drive. And at the end of the day, it's manifestation. They are manifesting these opportunities to come to them, putting the energy out. And, you know, and I say this all the time, you know, quote unquote, bad people, I'm saying in air quotes right now, bad people can manifest as well. And, you know, the problem is that when you are that person, you manifest it, and then you don't do the abundance part, which is to give it all away, you know, to give it away. That's why I believe Rogan's where he's at, because he does give it all away. And, you know, they've tried to take him down 1,000 times, and it just never happens because he's just surrounded by people that love him because they realize the opportunity. Then you see other people out there that got very big, and then it all crashed and burned because they weren't authentic. And authenticity, you know, you bring up this guy with a fake ID and a fake personality, and
Yeah.
you know,
leave Carlos Mencia alone.
Yeah, I mean, even his name is fake, you know, and he gets to the highest levels, and then it all crashes and burns because he didn't take care of people along the way, and like everyone that worked with him after they were done hated working with him. And
I mean, and not to like fight you on that, but I think either way it would have came out eventually. I think him just being a dick made
no,
people...
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah.
So this guy who's faking being an NFL player playing this game, it's not authentic. Yeah. And you know, the strongest force in the universe is authenticity right now. It's the strongest force. It vibrates at the highest level.
It's as rare as it's ever been, too.
Oh, in this day and age,
yeah.
And it's like Thomas Sowell said one time. He goes, in a society that demands, and I'm paraphrasing, but in a society that demands, you know, perfection, only liars can, you know, thrive, and it's just the truth. I mean, Johnny, I keep begging you to watch that Pee Wee Herman thing, but you know, he kept doing all these things he wanted to do, and then all of a sudden, you know, he finds this character that's a kids show. And it's not him. And he gives you little clues into who he really is, a cutthroat business guy that will cut you out for $1. He even admits it if he had to step on a bunch of people to get there.
Where's this at to watch?
It's on HBO. It's very interesting. But, you know, so then eventually it all crashes and burns because he's not being authentic to who he is, and he's winning at all costs. It always comes out in the wash. You know, that's a real reason why I'm brutally honest about all my character defects.
Yeah, be hard to blackmail Sam Tripoli.
Yeah, I am.
You mean the thing I just made the joke about 3 years ago?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, I own everything I do. I'm a complete utter weirdo, but
and not that you copied him, but you know what that reminds me a lot of? Eminem. when he does that rap battle.
Yeah.
Where he raps about himself and he's like, what are you going to say about me? And the guy's like, yeah, nothing. You're right.
100. What show resonated the most with everybody? And it was Breaking Bad. And, we can even get into our guest here. It's like Breaking Bad had normal looking people. And it really at its core is a show about a family. Yeah. They want to make it about like crystal meth, but it's really about a family and a dad struggling to keep his family together. And everybody has somebody in their family that was a drug dealer. So one of the parents are cheating. One of the kids has autism or cerebral palsy.
Really annoying wife.
And, and everyone's like, yeah, that's my fucking family. I can relate to that because that's being authentic.
Absolutely. And that's, the key, I think, for us now is just truth, is speaking your truth. I was just talking to a friend earlier today just about, I make my living on social media, and a lot of us do, and I'm blessed that I know some of the bigger, stars, if you will, in the holistic space. But when you get to a certain level, a lot of them often, they lose that authenticity. It's just like a politician. They lose that authenticity because they have to speak a certain way for their audience to stick with them and all that shit. When you keep it real and you speak the truth, that's the most valuable thing that we can do. That's where the money is. And so for us to be able to speak our truth, man, you can't replace that, and I think for us, we almost get vetted and validated in our community, at least, by just being truthful and honest and talking about all of our faults as well. Like I used to shy away from my past, but now I'm like, that's me. And that's my bumpy road has gotten me to where I am. And I appreciate that guy. And I'm thankful for that guy. And I thank him because, man, he got me here. Without him, I don't know where the fuck I am. But I'm here, I'm thankful, and I'm real thankful for people like you that speak the truth in this world, because people don't know what the truth is. It's hard enough for people even to figure out what the truth is inside of them, let alone speak it out loud to others. So, that goes a long way.
It's very interesting. I'm in recovery and I have a sponsor who I love with all my heart. And he would just sit here and laugh if I told you this. I'm probably the only person that's ever gone and visited his sponsor in jail. And he wasn't my sponsor at the time, but he was my good friend at the time, and he was going through it. And this guy knows where all the bodies are buried. And when he got out and he went through more crazy stuff, because people have to learn the hard way, right? I asked him to sponsor me because he knows the true Sam Tripoli, and we're still good friends for a long time. And it's like, that's what you need in your life. You don't need perfection. You need authenticity. And those are the people around you that really matter. And like, I can tell you, because I see a lot of people in Hollywood, they become famous. They stop hanging out with the people that they knew when they were open micers and shit like that. And I'm not saying I'm famous. I'm very famous with a small group of people, but I still talk to everybody I went to high school. I still talk to all the people I went to open mics with. I'm still good friends with the guys I moved out from Vegas here with. So I think that's important. I think it's very important. You see this a lot in Hollywood where they get rid of everybody that was with them on the rise up because people don't want to remember where they're from, a lot of people. They want to act like they're always at this place. And when you do that and you get rid of the people that knew you and knew your faults and all that stuff, you invite in sharks. The sharks come in. And sometimes you might not know this until it's too late. You might realize you're a dolphin in a shark tank. And you're not ready for that fucking shit. I think that happened
all day.
Right? I think that happened to Kobe Bryant with that pharmaceutical stuff. He started hanging out with these masters of mankind, realized it wasn't what he wanted, tried to stop it. And it's like, bro, you ain't the great white. You might be the king of the court, but this is Earth. This is the world, dude. And they are savages.
There's a whole other level. Yeah,
you and me on the court.
The sharks are swimming.
Yeah, the sharks are swimming.
I tell you, when I was in it, they are swimming, and they are skilled because their families have done this. That's what I realized when I made money and I made my first couple million or whatever. I realized that I was the poorest millionaire in the room. I looked around, I was like, man, I am trash, because there was levels to this game. And when you get invited to the table, you realize you're at the kiddie table. I was at the kiddie table, and so are all these athletes and entertainers, most of them. And I mean, unless you're a grade A superstar, you're still at the kiddie table, but we're all at this fucking kiddie table with sharks who have been doing this generationally. You know what I mean? And they know what they're doing, and they smell blood. And man, just to see that and to realize that world. So now, I'm thankful that I got to see that world, because I think a lot of us have a view of what success looks like. I thought that was success then, and now I realize that that's not success at all. That's just a false game. It's a false narrative. I don't even know what it is. It's a play game, in Legoland, in this Matrix. And I realize that that's not success. That's just pretend, but it's still part of our world. And so now I'm thankful that I get to play in like the holistic world. Like, I kind of reinvented myself. I went on a spiritual journey. I changed my life. And I did a similar thing where I now befriended a lot of we'll call it holistic all-stars, unique group of people, but are all doing really good things instead of being snakes in the water.
Yes.
They're all really just trying to help out mankind and help each other. So it's been a wonderful switch for me. And having gone through my past life, it allows me to have seen that and realize that how false that is, and it allows me to play better here and be a better servant to humanity and mankind. I spend a lot of time in schools for kids, teaching meditation and breath work, and just giving back to society to the best of my ability. And it's a much better world to play in, and that's why I appreciate that journey.
I want to get into the spiritual in a moment, but I want to talk to you because it looks like you have a lot of connections to the rap world. And there was a time where hip hop was dominating, metal was dead, country music was its own thing, and they were kind of outlaws. They were just seen as like these stupid rednecks. But now, like over the last 5 years, you've seen a complete and utter cratering of that community. Like these guys aren't making any money because it's gotten very demonic, and I see that you used to work with like Lil Wayne and all the stuff that guy's gone through, all the tats he's got on his face, and he's drinking that syrup stuff. He's having convulsions constantly, and one of the most devastating things I've ever learned was that Biggie Smalls completely stole his whole persona, from his name to the songs. Biz Markie, Coolio, they all just ripped off old R&B songs. And at the time we thought these guys were all gangsters. And I'm not saying that none of them have gang relations, but even all the guys from Compton we've done shows on, none of them were from Compton. For some reason, they picked Compton as this city of gangbangers, and they romanticized it so that everybody was into it. As a guy who used to work into that, and you see kind of this implosion, the outing of what they call, down low brothers and all that stuff in that world. Like, what is your thoughts on all that?
It's so wild, right? The what we thought it was, like, oh my God. I mean, I grew up with hip hop, and it was, it was everything. And then I think it's a general pulling down of the veil. It's an unveiling of this whole reality that we're in, but particularly in the world of hip hop as well. I mean, how fucking bizarre, And I worked with, one of the most interesting things I've done is work with Dame Dash, and Dame Dash is like an OG in the hip hop world. I mean, he's like an authority,
Right.
And I mean, he started Jay-Z. I mean, Kanye's his boy. Like, all these guys look up to him as one of the original guys, and it's mainly because he's so authentic. Dame Dash is one of the most authentic dudes I've ever met, right or wrong as well. He'll tell it like it is, but he's not always right, and that's okay. But he keeps it real. But so it was interesting just kind of working with him and seeing the world through his perspective and being there and watching him and learning from him. But it's so funny. It's all just a show. It's just a show. Like, you talk about Biggie and all these guys stealing this shit, and even I remember seeing Tupac and some of his early clips, when he's acting gay, and he probably was, who knows. It's amazing. It's amazing of what we bought into as a society, and what the conditioning that they gave us as well, and this whole plot and this whole theatrical setup that we all fell for. It's so wild now to see the unveiling of it. And
was there
see it for what it
darkness?
really is.
Did you see darkness? Because they're like hip hop, and it's very funny because I grew up on I grew up on like AC/DC, Metallica, And there's, dude, Black Sabbath, Ozzy, I loved them, dude. And there's so much darkness in it, but it was like a different kind. It was still had the same message, but it was seen in a way of being outside the system. Like Ozzy never was a long time ago. You never see like, Black Sabbath brought to you by Jamba Juice, right? You never saw that. Whereas like now this new hip hop thing is, you see Nas X brought to you by Reebok or Nike. And it's like this full on coming together of the corporate world and what seems to be the satanic world in a way I've never seen before. There was like this kind of move. I remember my mom was giving out a Def Leppard CD at a elementary school function because it was a raffle, and I looked at the cover and it looked like the what is that in Egypt, Johnny? The Sphinx.
The Sphinx.
But it was a chick with a big rack. And it was like, this is how naive we were back in the day. She had cleavage and we thought that was taboo. We're like, ooh. And I go, Mom, do you want to give this away at a kid's event? Her cans are basically out. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Now it would be seen as some kind of like inspiring girls thing. But, back then you couldn't even touch that. Radio stations would burn CDs and albums but now it's flipped and it's like full on,
Dude, the Beatles were too hot for people in the 60s.
And they had demonic shit in their stuff.
But that's what I'm saying. And they were too hot for people because, anyway.
Lennon said something, they're bigger than Jesus, which he was saying in tongue in cheek. And of course,
yeah, it was talking about their relative popularity at the time. Yeah, but every generation has their kind of thing. But I just don't know if this generation, is anybody getting their CDs burned right now? Like
now you got drill rap, you got mumble rap, and like the CIA ties to that.
It's almost like the industry's too fragmented to have any.
Well, I think that's the internet. Everything's going to become a spectrum, and what part of the spectrum are you into?
Well, you know what's up now?
What?
The dark web, you pirating videos, because nobody wants to stream so many things. So now you have to go on Google and it's easier to get it pirated. Johnny knows sometimes when you're looking for something, it's just easier
I pay
to go.
for UFC fights.
What do you?
That's like paying
like
for
sports
porn back in the day. You're like, you still pay for UFC fights? Like, I want these guys to get paid, man. They're like putting their bodies on. But back to the discussion. Did you see any of that darkness? I mean, you're working with Dame Dash. You bring up Jay-Z and a lot of discussions now with the P. Diddy trial coming out. And I mean, like, something's got to be up because that guy, I mean, I could have been a better lawyer than the lawyer you got. Like, literally didn't call one witness. And then did you guys, and not to get too rude here, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable, but, did you hear the closing argument that P. Diddy's lawyer did? He literally goes, it's like kind of like if you're having anal with your wife and she doesn't want to have it anymore, do you stop having anal? And the answer is, yeah, you stop having anal. But like he's like bringing it up, it's like, you just do what you do. It's like, dude, you are not helping, man. You are not helping. But
well, I mean, maybe he did help.
Maybe
he helped.
Maybe they were just like,
the jurors were like, yeah, you do.
You do keep having anal.
He tried to help by using baby oil.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Maybe they did their research, dude.
But going back to that, Ron, did you see any of this like kind of darkness? Go, whoa, this is kind of a little darker than maybe everybody knows about. Not to put you in any weird positions, but
first of all, someone's lawyer actually said that today. Is that what you're telling me? That was literally.
That was part of his closing argument.
I haven't seen that. I would love to.
Brett Binkley on whatever this is, that our premium content, he was reading it. He's like, yeah, and then he said this. And I'm like, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah, because there's no video. There would only be, you have to go read it.
That's amazing. I mean, that shows you where we are in this society. That is, I wish I'm going to go back and look at that. That's great. So, but to answer your question, I tell you what my perspective is. At least when I was in the business, is that there was such the people in the business were so naive, and I don't think that they realized the darkness. I think at that point it was more undercover, and I really didn't see it. They were so caught up in their gangster world and the dumb shit. Like it was silly. It was like high school stupidity often. And I'm talking about guys who were doing multi-million-dollar deals as well. it was child's play. So I don't think that these guys knew that they were tied to the darkness like they are now. Now it's out in the open. I think now they're showing us all their cards. The darkness is here. They're like, hey, we're here. We're showing you guys, for you people who are waking up, here it is. And they put it out there right in front of us. But I really, and I get a sense that it was probably pretty, common that no one really knew that they were involved with this darkness. I didn't see it like I see it now with such clarity.
When you went to prison, what was that like?
That was also like a stupid high school movie. It was filled with the dumbest people you could ever imagine. It was just illogical. It was high school. The guys were really not intelligent. It was a lot of drug dealers. It was basically filled with drug dealers. And you want to talk about the dumbest place on earth? I was never scared for anything. I was annoyed every day of the stupidity of the people that was surrounding me. But I did. So it's funny. I befriended a gangster, an Italian mobster in prison, the biggest international drug lord in prison, and like the OG New York City kind of drug kingpin. So I had a nice little core that I kind of bonded with, and
do they bring that energy in? Do they still have that energy of like, I'm the biggest drug dealer, or is it that everyone gets maybe I'm stupid for even asking this, but does everyone come in with the energy of being humbled a little bit, like they got caught and now everybody kind of is treated the same, or is that not true at all?
No, it's interesting. It's a great question. So there's like a hierarchy of intelligence as well. So when you're like the mobster, you come in with that presence, unlike, your low-level drug dealer. He comes in with that presence. He comes in like he's a kid, like he's a teenager. You know what I mean? He's stupid. He's mouthy. You can tell his level where he is in the hierarchy, right? You can tell who the OG mobster is. You can tell who the international drug lord is. They all carry themselves in a certain manner. And it shows. So you really don't have to tell who you are. That shows it. So when I came in, I'm grateful that those guys recognized something in me, and that's the kind of the three guys that I hung out with. But when I came in too, I remember. I tell you this. I remember because I was still partying. On the way to jail, I got to drive myself to jail, and I'm in this super badass, $100,000
Really?
Jaguar. Yeah, and a friend of mine, my kind of right-hand man, drove me to prison. I'm up for like 3 days partying, doing blow all day long.
Oh, you're going out with a bang.
I'm going out with a bang. And it's a 4-hour drive to this prison. We stop at like 7 a.m., get 2 more 8 balls. I'm driving to this prison. I'm chopping up lines. I'm doing blow. We get to the prison, and I'm like parking this in the parking lot, in the prison parking lot. And I get a CD case back then, and I'm chopping up giant lines to finish the 2 8 balls. And I'm doing rail after rail. And I never forget, this security guard comes over with his baton, and boom, boom, boom on the window. And he's like, what are you guys doing here? And I'm like, checking in. And he's like looking at us, and I'm fucked up. I smell like alcohol. I look like I've been partying for days because I had. And that's how I enter prison. And I entered it with a bang, and it was quite a ride.
I want to get into your health, but when you go to your cell, who is your cellmate?
So it's funny, when you get there, you go in this thing called the bubble or the pod, and that's where they put the new people, and you go there for like a month, let's say, and there's maybe a dozen, 15, 20 guys on bunks. And I remember I went in there, and I used to smoke then too, and I need a cigarette. I go to the bathroom, someone's smoking in there, and I'm like, let me get a hit. And I pass out, and I slept for days, but they would come and wake you up for, roll call. But I slept for like 3 days straight, and I'm waking up and I'm like, fuck, I'm in prison. Oh my God. So that's how I entered prison. And yeah, it was interesting. Let me tell you that.
What was the feeling when they got how many years you got, when they go, okay, I'm going to send you for 5 years. I don't know what your prison term was, but we'll say 5 years. What was that moment like?
Man, I tell you, that's another one of those where it's just surreal, like going through that whole experience. Was so wild. And once again, I go back to how crazy I was. During this time, I'm still partying. Like I had to do drug tests, and I would go to my PO, and I would have a fake bag of piss under my arm with a tube that ran down to my dick, and I'd piss, clean piss, and I'd be partying while I'm doing that. So
in prison?
No, before I went to prison,
okay.
like leading up to. And that was almost the worst part. Like leading up to prison is just as bad as prison, like because you're living in this prison, knowing you're going to prison, if that makes sense, and you're still under control of the Bureau of Prisons. And like I said, I had to go do drug tests on a weekly basis, and I was partying going into the drug test. Yeah, so that's that. I forget what your question was,
but the moment you heard you were going to do, let's say 5 years or whatever it was, what did that feel like?
It was 3 years, and your heart kind of stops, because you don't know what you're going to get. I kind of had a general idea, but I'm hoping that it's going to go away. I had John Gotti's lawyer. So I'm still thinking of gangster. I had this girl who got John Gotti off of a murder charge. So I'd fly her in on a private jet, and she was my lawyer here in Pennsylvania. So I'm still hoping for the best, and when he says 3 years, I'm like, oh, holy fuck, I can't believe it. But your heart just drops, and, it's a sucky situation, I can tell you.
Based on your notes, you gain some weight, you're in poor health, you get to 215, which to me is right around where I am right now. You leave, what changes your life? How did you decide to change your life?
Yeah. So, and I tell you that for several years, I come back after losing everything as well. So I'm still confused. I'm still like, who am I? Am I the guy that had all this money? Am I the guy with the power and the juice? Oh, I'm the guy who lost all that. So I struggle with who am I at this point, and I'm trying to, now she's my ex-wife now, but my wife at the time stayed with me. And so now I'm trying to really just do right by her and just live a normal life, which I'd never really lived. So I'm trying to, put a round hole in a square peg or whatever that's called. And it's just not working for me. And I'm depressed, and I'm going about life in just a kind of a miserable way. So at some point I'm like, I got to change it. I got to change my life, So I start to be healthy. I'm like, this is it. I'm going to do it. And that leads me to finding Shilajit. So on my journey to health, I stumble upon this wonderful medicine called Shilajit. And I'm like, and at that point, no one knew what it was. It's a buzzword now, but then you couldn't find Shilajit really if you tried. So I stumble upon it. I become a connoisseur of it. And it's like a springboard for me to get me back into health. The other thing was cutting out sugar and carbs.
Yeah,
so no sugar, no carbs. That got me going. And then I find Shilajit, which now propels me at a more rapid pace. And that puts me in this whole different alignment, and then leads me into a spiritual awakening, we'll call it, and I start deep diving into holistic medicine and all those things that one often does when he starts going down this path, down these rabbit holes, conspiracy theories, all the good stuff. I'm in it, and then COVID happens, right? So COVID happens maybe the couple years into this for me, and then I'm still married at the time, and my ex-wife now decides to have a threesome with Fauci and Rachel Maddow. So she's getting sucked in to the matrix world of getting vaccines and all that stuff, and during that time I'm getting pulled out of it and realizing this realm for what it is. So we get divorced, and that just once again springboards me into it. Yeah,
divorced. Damn. And, and I would like to, I 100% believe that story is probably way more prevalent than people think. Like this kind of split between like people who are still on the mainstream media nipple and those who've gotten off it and go, this doesn't make any sense. I'm doing all this stuff. And they're so smart in how they work. Let's demonize, do your own research. Demonize that, make it seem like only stupid people, it's like war is peace. Doing your own research is dumb. It's all that news speak that 1984 talked about. So, and Jimmy Dore does it, he's like, they demonize, do your own research. Yeah, we used to do that when we were kids. It was called reading. We would read. And here we are, these two separate things. And like the mainstream media, and I love my girlfriend, even when she drives me nuts. I love her so much. But it doesn't matter how much you lie, she gets lied to by them. And how many times I tell her what's happening, she pushes back against it. It comes out true. It does not matter. Every single issue is a clean slate. Start over. They're right. I'm wrong. Work against that.
Yeah, it was amazing to see. So now I'm living with a woman who I'd been with through thick and thin. She stuck with me when I went to prison. I mean, she stuck around when I went to prison and lost everything. And now I'm watching her get sucked in by Rachel Maddow. I'm watching the cult pull her away. And she was never like that before. She was very neutral and, common sense filled. And I'm seeing it happen before my eyes. And I'm tripping watching it. And I'm like, what the fuck? And you hit it. You know what they did? They called it "You're the Smart." I remember saying "You're the smart ones" to her and her, Rachel Maddow. We are the smart ones. These people don't know what they're talking about. They're the morons. And they sold them on being smart. And it was wild to see. So I watched that happen, which was terrible. I had to see that happen and kind of pull my family apart. And once again, now I look back, I'm thankful that it allowed me to really get back to who I was, because I had really forgotten who I was. And I was, trying to fit in this ridiculous world. And now I go full force into the holistic type of world. And I start meeting all these unique individuals. I start going down the path of meditation, of breath work, you name it, plant medicine, silent retreats, fasting, parasite cleanses, all the shit, urine therapy, all the goodies.
Urine therapy? You're drinking your own pee?
Yeah, I've dabbled with
Johnny's
that.
been thinking about doing that. Tell us about it.
Well, I tell you what, I was just on another podcast and I thought about it on that one. But so right here, this is gold right here. Where's right there. So this isn't only pee. This is 1 year old age.
What?
Yeah, that's the good stuff, my man. So it's really interesting. So I started to befriend a lot of these people in the space, and I was like fascinated by what they did. Once again, I'm just a normal guy on a health journey, and I'm talking to people, becoming friends with them, and they're drinking their pee. They're not eating food. One of my really good friends, his name is the Black Airbender on Instagram. He hasn't eaten solid food in 5 years. And I'm like, what the fuck? How do you do that? But the more I hung out with him, the more I realized how he does it. And I saw it, him being living proof. And he was a big proponent of urine therapy as well. And I tried it. And, by looking at these people and their lives.
Is it your piss in there?
Yeah, it's my piss.
Where are you storing, what do you have, a winery of piss?
I mean, have a swig.
It's so funny. So
have a drink.
Here it is again. So
will you take a sip for us?
Oh yeah, I'll take. So this is age too, bro. This is like crazy medicine. I'll do it for you. I normally don't drink age.
Dude, this. So you don't just go right from the tap ever, do you?
Oh yeah, the best thing is your rising urine. Like if you drink your piss, your first piss of the day. Oh, bro, this is like straight ammonia. This is like the nastiest. I might even throw up. Sometimes you throw up after you drink.
Just have a sip.
Oh, dude.
So 1 year age. Oh my god. This will kill parasites in your body though as well. Dude. So this is like your plasma. This is gold. This is the fountain of youth. Like it's literally, we think it's waste. We're taught that from what I've learned at least. Wow. That's tasty.
Are you okay, dude? Are you okay?
I'm okay. Now, I got to tell you that your regular urine, like your daily urine, it tastes fine. Like it tastes like, water. That one, one is a bit mud.
Yeah, that's fermented.
Oh, dude, I remember one time I peed in a bottle on a road trip and then forgot about it. And then like a week later, found it in my car. And it was, when I poured it out, it smelled vile. So I can't imagine a year.
I think he's putting it in a fridge or something. Yours is in the hot car in North Carolina.
No, he's saying no.
No, it just sits in the room. Yeah, it doesn't have to be cold or anything. What's unique is my friends, the Black Airbender and some other friends of mine, they all drink their urine. They do have like a winery in their bathrooms. They have like 20, 30 jars of this piss, different colors and different ages.
Were you drinking your own urine when you got divorced out of curiosity? Because
it's so funny. I started, because then they're like, Dad, what are you doing? Like everyone, my family thought I was crazy. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? You're out looking at the stars. You're watching Ancient Aliens. Like Ancient Aliens was like a gateway drug to the, to the rabbit hole. And then I started telling him about my friends drinking piss, and I was like, what, I don't, and it's funny, even my matrix friends, like my normie friends, as they kind of learned the path I was going, they'd be like, well, you're not drinking your pee. And I'm like, of course not. And now it is what it is. I drink my pee, it's fine.
Boo. Get out of the closet. I love it.
I'm out, baby.
What does urine do for you? What about it is good for you to drink it?
So, and I'm not an authority on urine. My good friends are, but what I gather is that it's really your stem cells. It's replacing your stem cells. There's some things that can replicate it, but urine is like the best thing as far as stem cells and healing your body. So I'll give you a story. Chad Ochocinco from the Bengals, I think he played, Hall of Famer, right? So Chad Ochocinco used to, and this is his story, he'll say it, after games, he would get all the players in the locker room to pee in buckets, and he would wrap towels, and he'd wrap his whole body in piss. And he didn't have enough of his own piss, so he got their piss. And he was an Iron Man. I don't think that he missed more than a couple games in however many seasons he played, which I think was like 15-ish, give or take. So for me, it sounded crazy too. Like, it sounds insane. But when I truth now, we're about our truth. And when you see stuff with your own eyes, now I have the faith in my reckoning and my seeing it for what it is to believe it. And when I saw my friends drinking their fucking piss and I saw the specimens that they were and the vibration that they lived at, I'm like, well, this makes sense. And I'm going to try it myself. And I'm glad I did, because it's another one of those things that breaks the barrier of the conditioning that we're under of not understanding what our bodies can do. And it just opens up entirely different levels of communication with the ethers, with consciousness. And so I know it's weird, but
no, and we're all about weird here. So you're in the right place.
Exactly.
So if I wanted to start, am I just doing a shot in the morning?
Yeah. So you know how I started, which was interesting. I remember Airbender telling me, is like, take a couple drops of your piss and put it in your belly button. And I remember I was in Miami and I was laying in a hotel room bed and I put some piss in my belly button, and it just kind of starts to communicate with your body,
Okay.
And that's how I started. But then I tell you what, just fucking drink it. Like, piss in the rising and drink it. And you've drank much worse in your life. You've drank so much worse.
Drink
all the alcohol that we
can't
drank.
be any worse.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, your piss is way better than anything else that you probably put in your body. And it's so good for you.
The only thing I could see it doing is keeping you to start eating clean so you taste better. You know what I mean?
That's what I thought as well. And you don't have to. It's certainly, so I live often, depending on where I am and what I'm doing in life. Like, when I'm in Florida, I tend to go on coconut water fast, and I'll drink coconut water for, 20, 30 days, or fruit. It tastes a lot better when you're living that lifestyle, but it still doesn't taste bad. Like, if you're eating, whatever, shit food or, but it's beneficial. It's just like microdosing mushrooms as well, where that has this beneficial effect to your body. You don't always realize it, but it does. And another thing, like, it heals wounds. Like, you could put, if you have aches and pains, you can put piss on a joint and it'll start to heal your body. It really has magical properties.
Wow.
And it's written, it's biblical as well. Like, it's hidden, but it's biblical. Like, it's written in many different texts.
I mean, it does it with jellyfish, right?
Well, that's it. The sting.
Something. I mean, I know it does that. It sterilizes it or something like that.
It's supposed to relieve the sting. I don't know if that's a myth or not.
Yeah, it does. It does, which is interesting right there as well, right? Like, that heals you from a sting of something. So it has. And the other thing is, a lot of my friends, they snort it. They snort their urine. They do it with eye drops to help their eyesight.
What?
They'll gargle with it. My one friend, Gerald from Hidden Health Truth.
There's a whole community.
There's a whole community. You'd be shocked on how many people do it and how beneficial it is from him. But he drinks it through his nose, because then it goes through your nasal passage, and then he swallows it. So there's all kind of super odd techniques.
You're gonna get cocaine if you do that.
Dude, I really thought we were out there a little. Like, I thought really we
I want to try it.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I just want to do
I
a
want to see you
shot.
try it. And I want to hear about it.
I'll piss in a cup, get a little.
Can I watch?
A little,
with the camera?
No, what's it called? The dropper, and you just put a couple
in your belly button.
Yeah.
So
And
you're
then
gonna
do a
Dana
couple
just
piece
freak
bumps. Do a
out.
couple piss bumps.
so you're
What
gonna,
piss bumps, dude?
so you're gonna do the whole episode with piss in your belly button?
No, I'm not gonna do it on the episode.
could
It
probably
would
keep it
leak
there.
all over the
No, I
place.
don't think so.
You can keep it there.
I think you could probably keep it there.
You think I could? You think I got a hungry hippo down there, dude? That's just
I
rude.
think you got a little shot glass going on.
So I want to get to the health stuff. Right now we have RFK Jr. Word is he's about to drop a bomb research report because
About piss?
no,
That'd be cool.
he basically took over, health in America. And, I have, he's the only politician that ran for president that I have good friends of mine who are good friends of him that I love. The people I love, they all say he's the best guy. Universally, everyone says he's a nice guy, and they have no reason to lie to me. I align with them on a lot of political stuff. Love them. So they say he's a good guy, and there's always these moments where he comes out and he says the mRNA vaccine is healthy, and everyone's like, okay, I think you have to dance, because suddenly he was going to come out with all this stuff, and then they're like, we have him having phone sex with somebody, and I would have loved to hear that phone sex. Both it would be hilarious and horror at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to play a game? Just like with that voice, it would have been amazing. Getting back into health and what you're talking about, all these natural homeopathic remedies, it's just like they're trying to convince you petroleum is what you need inside you to be healthy. And, drinking your own piss, taking all this, what's it called? Shiati? Is that what we call it? Shilajit. Are remedies out there. Every single thing that you have a problem with. I told you guys, I have a bad hip. I went to go get stretched. This guy who stretches goes, oh, I'm in acupuncture. He goes, where are you hurting? I go, right in my hip. He just grinded his fingers into my hip right here. Next day, I felt no pain.
Acupressure or acupuncture?
Pressure.
Okay.
Acupressure. And felt no pain. And it's just like, oh, but they want you to go get a surgery. Yeah. They want you to get a fake hip. They want you to do all that
stuff. You hear that
stuff.
so much, dude. It's like Chinese medicine, too. Like just shit that nobody acknowledges here. And people go there and it works.
I've done episodes before where people, they say even in China, they've hijacked the Chinese medicine.
Oh, really?
So it's not the stuff of the ancient medicine. Exactly. But yeah, going back to that, like what you're talking about are natural remedies that I think people are so afraid of. And it's just, so the point of this whole rant is that here is a study from the government that will come out. If it does eventually come out, I'm sure they're battling tooth and nail for it not to come out. That's going to say these vaccines have a direct correlation to autism and how everyone knows somebody whose kids has autism. And what are like, and if you go to these mothers, you go, there is let's say it's even lower, 10% chance your child could have autism naturally at a time before the propagandism of vaccines and big pharmaceuticals. Mothers would be like, nope. No. If there's a 10% chance it's not happening,
risk.
Motherly instincts would kick in. But this programming is so powerful, it's overwritten the fucking natural instincts. We see it all the time. I don't want to have kids. I want to be married. I want to have a career. I don't want to be in a family. I'm going to take this, and it's going to cause me incredible mental instability, but I don't care. I got to take it. It's birth control. Stuff like that. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, all day long. I mean, our medical system obviously has been hijacked, and it's been hijacked in the early 1900s. I think in 1914 is when the Federal Reserve was made, when the American Cancer Society was made. That's when the Rockefellers really started to take over modern medicine and push petroleum vaccines and all that shit. They also then started to take away all of our natural healing modalities that we had. One of the biggest things that we used in those times was frequency medicine. Yeah. We knew how to work with the body and heal the body by frequency, by sound. I mean, we could go down many roads here. We could go down to some old Tartarian kind of talk with these old cathedrals that were really houses of healing and we're kind of working with free energy. But there were so many different modalities. And it was all robbed from us. It was hidden, it was buried intentionally, and it was replaced and funded by the Rockefellers to get us to where we are now. And look I mean, congratulations to them. Well done. I mean, well played.
Done.
Look at us. We've lost our connection to source. We've lost our connection to knowing inherently what is right and wrong. We've given our authority away to the medical system. We'll do whatever they say. People will do whatever the fuck they say. Your doctor said this. He said that. Take this. But it's amazing how far we've fallen as a species. And I'm thankful now, at least that these modalities are coming back, and the internet is kind of hides us a lot and shadow bans us a lot in this field for talking truth, but it's still there, and it wasn't there before. So all these modalities are coming back. People like myself, people like you, for allowing these platforms and people to speak about them, are bringing it back. And even with RFK, they're starting to talk about it more and more. So I'm super thankful for that. We're still up against it. I mean, our skies are being sprayed every day. Our food's being sprayed with poison. Like, I could go on and on about the situation that we're in. But all we can really do is fight with the tools that we have. And for me, the tools like this, look, I'm open to this stuff, drinking my pee more than I am to listening to some, quack doctor about telling me anything. I haven't been to a doctor. As a matter of fact, I have a new wife, and she's pregnant. We just found out.
Congratulations.
In the last couple of weeks.
How old are you, sir?
So I'm in my 50s. My wife's, she's a little bit younger. She's 30-something, we'll say.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But we're going to have an in-home natural birth. We're not going to a doctor. We're not getting any vaccines. We'll drop it in a bathtub, or maybe we're going to go. We may have a dolphin birth. I'm looking into that, having a birth in the water with dolphins, which would be fucking awesome.
Oh man, I love you, buddy. You're the world's most interesting man, for sure.
Truly.
That's amazing. And you bring up a really good point, and this is for guys. I also want to say that there's a lot of dads and guys who are totally deep-throating the whole got to get the kids vaccines, not just moms. There's just something about mom's motherly instinct. You got they're overly sensitive to it. How many times your mom tell you, don't do that? And you go, why? You go, because I told you so. Well, that's just her instincts telling you that they're overly protective, right? That's kind of it's like, it's this thing about women make the rules of society, men make the rules of business, and this political correctness is this attempt to bring the rules of society into business, and it fails miserably because business doesn't care about your feelings. It's either you're producing or you're dying, and then everyone needs a chance. That doesn't work in business. So, but there are men out there. There's a famous comic who I love. I hated him at one point, but I love him now, who did a joke about lying to his girlfriend or wife about vaccines, and he took and got his kids vaccinated behind her back. I mean, so it happens for sure. So, but when you bring up that your wife is totally down with that, and she wants to do a dolphin birth, and she doesn't want to do all the vaccines, that is so important. I mean, really, if you're thinking about having kids with somebody, I hate to say it, that needs to be a discussion.
Has to be. For me, in the group that I'm in, I would only even date a woman that's on the same mindset. I mean, look, I would just stay with my ex-wife if that was the case. I just lived in that life and, pandered to her insanity. So I think the best thing for us in this space is that we have a community where it's all normal now. Talking about all the things we're talking about today is the norm for the people that I hang out with. Now, I look a little different. I look like a normal, member of society. Most of my friends look a little hippie-ish and have, different flair to them. But they all have natural births. I don't know. And none of my friends have been to a hospital having a baby that have had babies recently. So I'm thankful that information's out there. We actually just went to Florida to talk with some of our friends who just had their baby 3 months ago and did it in their house and didn't see a doctor once, because you don't need to see a doctor. We've been lied to with this medical system, thinking we need all these things, and we don't. So the information's out there, and it's natural, and it's remembering who and what we are as a species, and taking our control back. And so that's where I'm at. That's the world I'm playing in. I've kind of checked out of this matrix society and kind of go against the grain, and I'm not going back. So I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for the community that I'm rocking with now.
So your product, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Shilajit is really, that's who I am. People know me for that. And they also know me for like hanging out with all these cool, interesting people and who also all kind of use my medicine. And so Shilajit, 84 minerals and fulvic acid. So it's giving you everything that your body needs that you don't get in this society. Everything that's like our food's been stripped of, everything that the soil's been stripped of. We don't get the minerals that we need. So Shilajit remineralizes your body. Shilajit is also an adaptogen. It's the world's finest adaptogen, and that means that it's going to kind of go and take care of things in your body differently than it is of mine. I got clients all over the world, and they tell me the most amazing stories for what Shilajit has done for them. A lot of people I work with have seizures. Shilajit often, I don't say it'll cure everybody, but Shilajit often helps them with their seizures, makes them go away. It cures skin conditions. Its biggest proponent is energy. It's a natural energy booster. The fucking Russian Olympians have been taking Shilajit for decades. And when they used to dominate back in the day, their edge, I believe, was probably Shilajit. So it has so many healing properties. It also, it pulls heavy metals out of your system. You want to talk about the jab and things like that and the chemtrails that people are kind of getting in their system. Shilajit has an ability to go in and kind of grab those particles and pull it out of your system. So it's really, for me, it's been one of the best things for me personally. On my journey, I noticed it first, and it was the biggest piece of my puzzle to keep me going. And then, like I said, I became a connoisseur of it, and then just became an authority of Shilajit because I got to know the people in these areas all over the world just as a hobby for me. And now they've become long-term friends and business partners. And so I get the purest, best Shilajit that you can find on this earth. And I deal only with small groups of people who have been doing this generationally within their families for decades. So it's been really a wonderful ride for me and part of my journey.
Well, if you ever do affiliate programs, we'd love to do that. Put it on our...
Well, E10 is the affiliate code that we're going to pump out for you and your community.
Bang,
we're going to give them a 10% off. Yeah, and super excited about that because I tell you, the other big thing about Shilajit is knowing the difference between good and bad Shilajit now. So Shilajit has become the buzzword in holistic medicine. And because of that, now it's just like Walmart, where now you're getting a lot of fake rip-off, knockoffs, poor quality products. The best thing to know is where you're getting your Shilajit from. Don't get it on Amazon. 95% of the Shilajit on Amazon is Chinese-made trash. So the most important thing is really bringing quality Shilajit to the consumer. And I spend a lot of my time educating my customers and clients and on podcasts just like this on where to get Shilajit. There's some other good ones out there, but I think we pretty much have the best one, and especially bang for your buck. Like their Symbiotica has one, great, super high quality. We get it from the same region, but his is triple the price. So
let me see. What's the suitcase you could buy?
It's a kilo, baby.
So that's a suitcase full of kilos. I also specialize. Yeah, I still got my old drug dealing days kind
Ron,
of flavor.
You're great, buddy. You're a class act.
So is this like a shot, or do you pour on the coffee? How it looks like resin?
Yeah, it's a resin. So I give you a little spoon. You can see there, and what you do is you take a scoop. The easiest way to do it is put it in your coffee in the rising and mix it in there. If you drink coffee, boom, it's a great way to remember it. Or you can get like a little hot water, make a little tea, add some honey, add some ginger. What's that?
Can I add to my piss?
Totally. But it has to be warm piss for it to blend well. Yeah,
right
yeah. So heat your piss up.
Well, I love it,
and
dude.
Piss is great for your face. Piss is great it's like the best freaking skin cream you could ever have. So a lot of high-end skin creams have urea, it's called, which is really just piss. It's piss.
That's true.
So when I get peed on, it's not a kink thing; it's more of a health thing.
Tell yourself that.
That's what I do. I do.
Yeah, you pay a little extra, but it's worth it.
He had no reasons of doing it before. Now he does.
Yeah, man. I think it's great. Again, guys, listen to me. It's like this. The whole point of everything is like you can change your life. You've looked at somebody who went to prison, went in high on coke, came out overweight, and just changed his life. And it's like, yeah, he was working with Super Bowl people, but we've had people on here that have come from homelessness and done great things. It's like you are where you are based on the decisions you've made and the actions you've taken. And the only person come to save you is you. and you have to save yourself. And, you know, you can come up with a million excuses, but, you know, you got to get what Joey Diaz calls that immigrant mentality. And it's like, no matter what, I mean, there's times I'm with my kids, I'm tired. I got to get through it, dude. You know, I'm their dad. They need me. They need these experiences of love. They need these experiences of life. You have to go through it, man. And it's like, yeah, you know, I love my parents. You know, nobody's perfect. But I couldn't have two better parents if I asked, both for great reasons and, you know, chaotic reasons. Again, you know, I love my father, but dude did everything wrong, was a hard worker, didn't play the game of life, cost him everything. And it's like that all happened so I would see that that's how I was becoming. And maybe that's the purpose of my dad, was to show his son, like, don't do this. Look what happened to me. But, you know, it's like you are where you are based on your life. And the reason I bring up my parents is because my mother worked a full-time job, went to school full-time, and didn't have anybody helping her with the kids. She had two crazy boys who were just savages, and she did it. And she got through it. Now she won't leave her house, and that's a whole different story. But that's her life, man. And it's just like, whatever it takes to get this done. What is your dream? What do you want to do? Become a handyman, dude. There's going to come a time where people are going to need handymans, man. It's right now. Come do it yourself. Figure it out. And listen, if you enjoy your job, I'm not talking to you about that. You stay on that. But if you're miserable and you're looking around and the industry's starting to disappear and you're like, where am I in that future? And you don't see yourself, figure it out before that moment comes. Build your own thing. You know, like we had a family friend who became homeless at one point, and she just started cleaning houses. I respect the shit out of that. I tell this people all the time, especially in comedy. Comedians get very weirded out when they were doing comedy, and then suddenly they got a day job. They got to get a day job, and I'm like, dude, there's nothing wrong with an honest day's work, man. Going and grinding and getting it done. And you know, this is what this show's about. And you know, I hope you got a lot out of this episode, because I know I did. And it was a wonderful conversation, Ron. I really thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. You have an open door to come on anytime you want. And man, yeah, dude, you got it going, dude. So we got our promo code. I would love to put you on our website so they can click a banner. I just need to get your logos and all that. We could talk ever. We'd love to try some of your product if it's ever possible. And we'll go from there, man. One more time, Ron. Tell them where they can get you, where they can find you.
First of all, I thank you guys so much. Fabulous show. You guys are spectacular. And I want to finish it with this. If you change your mindset, you can create a new world. And that's really the key to take away from all this is you can have a new you and create a new you. So I love you guys so much. You can find me at vibemedex.com. And the great thing with what I do with my clients is they can reach out to me. Like, I talk to people on a daily basis all over the world. I respond to emails and I help these people out. Oh, Shilajam. My Shilajit business and connections manifested into a festival. So every year I have this festival.
It, dude.
Oh, bro. So I have like these badass, like hip hop conscious performers coming from all over the country. It's in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, July 18th through 20th. Mark from the podcast is going to come on. He's going to do some podcast there live as well. It's really a spectacular event. So I got that going, but you can also get your Shilajit there and use Tripoli 10 is the discount code for 10% off of all your Shilajit needs. And reach out to me anytime. I'm going to send you guys a care package as well.
I love that. I love this stuff. Ron, thank you.
You will have unlimited Shilajit.
Yeah, Ron, I love it. If you're ever in LA, let us know. We'd love to hook up. And thanks for coming on the show, man. It was a really great show. And we look forward to the next time we talk. And good luck with your event, man. It seems like it would be a really great time, dude.
It's good stuff, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Look forward to coming on again. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, take care. Let's break down the episode. All right, guys, what'd you guys think of Ron Morrett, or as John, as XG calls him, Ron Moore?
I think I got a new routine for my morning now.
Dude, let's do it.
Let's you down 1 week.
No, let's just take a thumbnail, a thimble, shot, and just do our first shot.
Are we doing it next week on Tinfoil Hat? We have to come in with our own piss. Because I'm not drinking Chinese and I'm not drinking
You
yours.
can go fuck yourself. Both of you. I'm not drinking my own piss. I'm not drinking your piss.
Dude.
I'm not drinking anybody's piss.
I'm gonna try it.
I'm not drinking Sydney Sweeney's piss. I'm not drinking any of your...
Have you ever been peed on? It's really great.
As a kid, just like
Yeah,
accidentally.
well, that's your friend trying to cross the streams.
So how does it feel though? Because
you go, well, I don't know, and then you're like, oh, this is actually not that bad.
I mean, it's like warm water. I'm
like
sure.
a golden shower.
You don't have taste buds on your feet though. This is in your mouth.
Yeah, but Johnny, we're not asking you to drink an ocean of it. We're thinking a little.
That guy had a Gatorade bottle full.
Oh yeah, dude, that might have been one of the all-time great
That was fantastic.
moments on Tinfoil Hat. Where he's like, "Oh God, this is so good for you."
It was so good, dude.
1 year age, which I wanted to ask, what happened when you?
By the
aged
way,
it for a
how
year?
is that not a Saturday Night Live sketch by now?
What? Drinking your own piss?
1 year aged piss?
Oh yeah.
Like this piss is from the 1800s.
He could be selling that shit, dude.
No, I'm down, dude. I am so fucking down to try it. I like getting peed on. It's happened a couple times. I'm like,
See, I have a feeling you would like drinking another girl's piss instead of yours.
yeah, I mean,
I like how you said that's gonna fuel the flames of him being trans because you said another girl. Like you're a girl, another girl's piss.
Well, I mean, he's got lip filler already.
I know I got lip feel. I got women's wrist. What else do I got? Internet. What else? But it was great, dude. And it's just like, he's got charismatic energy.
Yeah, he's a good. He's a good one.
He walks in. He's got high vibrational energy.
You can see how he got where he was.
And that's why people want to work with him.
Charisma.
Everything's energy.
Yeah.
Everything is energy.
You sound like you want to drink his piss, Sam.
No, I don't want to drink any guy's piss.
That's one thing we didn't ask him. Is the same beneficial health benefits if you drink somebody else's? Like if you drink your wife's. Like,
Good
let's say
question.
Why didn't you ask that?
Good question.
You asked for retarded shit, and then you forgot this. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Guys, go to samtripoli.com. Real quick, guys. So we had a situation where MailChimp basically, it's not my newsletter emails are all gone. We can't even find the account.
What?
Yeah, it's gone.
Was that part of the cyber attack thing?
Maybe. So we've now started a new email list.
That's really valuable. You lost all the emails, huh?
That hurts.
Yep, story of my life. And people are like, well, we didn't even get any emails. So exactly. So I'm working with the website guy. And you will be getting emails.
Well, are you collecting emails at T-shirt? Like, do you have an opt-in? Because most websites have a thing where you can opt in after you sell a T-shirt, and
yeah, I mean, I gotta get some where they just can put their email. I don't want to write it down.
That's what most places do that though. And then when they're checking out, it was like you click like, would you like emails from Sam Tripoli? And
I should try that. That's a lot of work.
No, it's not any work at all. What? I mean, it's usually built into most websites. Like I bet they have a feature they can just switch on.
Now I want to tell you guys something. Every flyer I make, I put Xavier Guerrero on because I think he's gonna make it. And then every day he drives past Home Depot. And he's like, bro, I can't make it, dog. No, dude, I can't get there.
If I can't go to Home Depot, what am I doing in Nebraska?
But you did go to Home Depot the other day, living dangerously.
He said it was. He says changed too.
It's not your dad's Home Depot. It's not your uncle's Home Depot. It's
not your uncle's.
It's
Home
just
Depot.
sad.
Yeah,
it's not your uncle's. Home
It's just
Depot.
Depot now.
Yeah, it's just
no
Depot,
home,
dude. Oh, poor Depot. But on the 17th through the 19th, I'm going to be in San Diego at the American Comedy Company. But here's the thing. On the 19th, The Late Show, which is a 9:30 show, which is a Saturday 9:30 show, it is a tinfoil hat comedy night, which means Eddie Bravo, if this fucking...
Can I tell you, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you for just... If you want to reuse this, you got to do this straight. So it doesn't... You get what I'm saying? Without like flourishes, jokes and stuff.
I don't care, dude. I'm just
people are going to check out the second if they realize they're listening to it in the second episode again.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So just give me something like give me this part straight where you do the dates and then add something custom at the end.
Okay.
And
you want me to start over? All right, here we go.
Yeah, I think it'll work best if we do it that way because it'll make people think they're not.
All right, go to samtripoli.com, everybody. Check it out real quick. The email list was hacked or MailChimp erased it. It's no longer there. If you could, please resubscribe to my mail list. My guys who run my website are going to start putting out a letter every week. So please jump on that. Go to samtripoli.com events. I'm going to be in San Diego on the 18th through the 19th. The Saturday show at 9:30 will be a tinfoil hat. Xavier Guerrero, Eddie Bravo, and the one and only Johnny Woodard will be there. So grab your tickets now. It's going to be a great time. Then we have Boston. We have Broadbrook, Kansas City, and after that, I believe is New Orleans. More dates to come. samtripoli.com for all my videos are on there. Every one of my videos I put out is on samtripoli.com. You don't have to go to anywhere else. Go to samtripoli.com. Check out the premium content. I'm putting out three episodes a week if I'm not super slammed, and they are deep dives into everything. Cash Daddies, talk about it, Johnny. By the way, I'm up 20%, not 10%, 20%
Nice.
my investments. Talk about Cash Daddies.
Howie turned this June around. It was a great June, and July has started off with a bang too.
Yeah, I mean, people are making money on it. He breaks down how to do everything.